Hey folks, let's learn something new about the oil and gas industry. All right, today, how to develop into an oil and gas expert. We get asked this question literally 2 or 3 times every month for years. How to become an oil and gas expert. We have people that reach out to us that want to change their careers and they want to kind of do some of the stuff that we're doing. So we're going to rattle off the things you need to do if you want to become an oil and gas expert. So the first one, and if you've listened to me for any length of time, you know this is going to come out of my mouth. Plan. You have to have a plan. Not in your head, but you have to have it written down, and it's something that you need to reference often, right? You need to have your overarching goals, and then you need to have those goals broken down into actual things you can actually execute on, and then you need to have those actually broken down into tactical things you do every day to reach those parts of the goal. If you don't have a plan, you'll never become an expert. Then learn. You have to educate yourself. And the thing that I see a lot of people do, especially in our industry, is they know part of our industry and they think that's the whole industry. And so they want to become an oil and gas expert, but they only focus on the part that they're in, not realizing that's only a small percentage of the entire industry. You have to spend time learning. Formal education, seminars, classes, online events, conferences, expos, all that stuff you have to learn. And something else that you need to do if you want to become an oil and gas expert is you never stop learning. We literally put time in our calendars every month to learn because there's always something new to learn. The moment you stop learning is the moment you stop being an expert. Then connect with other oil and gas experts. I have a lot of people I'm connected to. Some of them on a different maturity scale than I am. Some of them are just starting their careers, some are at the end of their careers, but I always get valuable, useful information out of my network. Your network, your other oil and gas experts that you connect to always helps make sure you're current and make sure that you're aware of things that maybe you weren't aware of. We talked about learning a little while ago. They make sure that you learn the newest things. So having that network of other oil and gas experts is unbelievably important. And then, when you're starting, especially if you're coming into this industry and you're trying to establish yourself an oil and gas expert, you have to have a broad knowledge. Don't specialize. Learn at a high level the entire oil and gas industry, right? The industry is made up of a bunch of components, right? But basically, you can break those down into upstream, midstream, downstream, and service. We'll throw a link so you can go watch a short video we did years ago, which is content is great. Don't make fun of the quality of the video, but it's really good information to understand the broadness and the scope of our industry. You have to have that broad knowledge. Once you have that broad knowledge, if you want to, then you can specialize, right? But start off with a broad knowledge. Then, like everything else, practice. Whatever you want to be an expert around, you have to actually do it. So in our case, it's speaking, right? It's helping companies in their sales and marketing departments hit their goals. We actually do it. When I started doing this, I did a whole bunch of that sort of stuff for free so I could get the practice. And even now, and my crew fusses at me sometimes, even now sometimes I do stuff that we don't get paid for, but it's part of me practicing my craft. You have to practice. Then here's another one that sometimes you need other people to help you figure out. You need to identify weaknesses. Right? So you need to identify parts of your expertise that you're not very strong in, and that's where you need to spend your time. You need to figure out how to take those weaknesses and turn them into strengths. If you don't identify your weaknesses, you have gaps in your being seen as an oil and gas expert, and you can't have those gaps. And like I said, a lot of times it's very helpful if you have other people help point out your weaknesses. I'll give you a great example for us, right? I am not the best financial person in the world, and I have other people in our team, in our organization that help me with that because it's a weakness. So now I've addressed that weakness. You have to be able to do the same. Then, we talked about learning, we talked about education. We live in a modern information overloaded world. There's a lot of bad information out there. The information that you consume to help you be an oil and gas expert, every single time, check the source. Every single time. There's so much misinformation, wrong information, politically influenced situation, and if you let those bad pieces of information get into your box of tools, then you start making bad decisions and you're not seen as an expert anymore. So every time, check your sources. Then, and here's one you don't actually hear people talk about a lot, but I think it's probably one of the most important: desire. If you want to be an oil and gas expert, you have to believe in your heart that that's where your calling is. That's what you want to be. That's what you want to do. You have to have a passion around that. If you've listened to us in any length of time, if you've seen us speak at any events, you know I have a passion around this industry, and I love this industry. I love the stories of our industry. I love the people of our industry. I love the technology of the industry. It's real. It's passion. It's mine, right? You have to have that same desire. And then, quite honestly, even though it's work, have fun with it, right? This is a wonderful global industry of people doing business with people. This industry likes to do good stuff for the planet. We like to provide prosperity to the world, but we also like to have fun. Enjoy that. If you want to develop yourself into an oil and gas expert, you have to enjoy the journey. You have to have fun. And if you don't, you won't ever get there. So there we go. There's some tips on how you can become an oil and gas expert. If you found this valuable, can you do me a favor? There's some social share buttons here. Just click a couple of them. Help us get this blog post out to more people. I hope this helped. We will see you next time.